Hey folks, Bernakevitch here with All Points Design, that's allpointsdesign.ca. And today we're talking about the Oregon State University Permaculture template. Specifically, we're taking a look at the sector compass and solar angles when we're taking a look at a cross section. Now, solar angles are important because when we look at solar angles, as we can take a look from the stock material here, we get a sense of what potentially will be our shade when we start putting in different elements within the landscape. So when we work with our cross sections, we can get a sense of where we'll have a solar aspect or solar real estate penetration and where we'll have occlusion or where we'll have shading that's going on. So again, I've been using Sun Earth tools. I really enjoy the tool. It's easy to use. And what I've been doing is, as we saw in the last tutorial, I've just been taking a look at the different solstices. So I put in the solstice month, June 20th, so 20th or 21st. And then as I'm moving down, there's a number of pieces here. So on the azimuth, on the 360-degree compass, we get a sense of where the sun rises on the landscape in the three-dimensional conversation, and then where it sets at 310. When we move down though, when we change the date, we get all this information specific to us. So we know exactly where everything is. So we get a sense of where our sunrise is, where our sunset is, where we rise on the compass, where we set on the compass. And also, if we take a look over here in terms of what's the elevation, or sometimes called the altitude, what's the height? So at solar noon, we're at 61.99 degrees or 62 degrees. So that 62 degrees is what we're looking for. And again, we can pick that up by estimating on this fold out chart, or we can estimate here as we go from 0, 10, 20, 0, 10, 20, all the way up to 60, 62. So coming back to our map, what I did is I grabbed a protractor compass PNG. I put it into one of my background slides, as we've shown before in different tutorials, how we can put that into the background slide. So I can't click on this, but I can put things over top of it. And the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, as I did here already, I'm just going to put in that 62. So I'm going to make sure not to delete the degrees, put in 62. So now I have summer, 62, and the sun. Now the next thing I want to do here is I want to make sure that all of these things, all these elements, pardon me, are selected. So I'm going to select one, hold shift, select the other, hold shift, select the third, and then I'm going to group. When I group them, now when I rotate them, I'll rotate them together. So I won't have to worry about them being different or being separate, pardon me. Great, and I'll do the same thing with my winter after I get my winter angle. So I'll go back over here, take a look at my winter angle. Winter angle is winter solstice, that's the lower line here, about 15 degrees. So I'm going to go in here, make sure not to get rid of the degree symbol, and put in 15 on 5. And then again, make sure that I click on each of these, get them all together, and then right-click group. Now that they're all grouped, I can move them around. Now that I've got these done, and I'm going to move off my two little angles. I don't even know if those are totally necessary. But now that I've got all this, I'm going to put this directly onto my protractor compass here. And then I'm going to grab my summer, and I'm going to bring it over to this point, and I'm going to try and line it up to 62. Now I'm just a little low. Could probably make do with that, but just going to make it a little bit more. Yeah, that looks really good. Maybe a little bit more even. So just going to work that aspect. Nice. That looks great. And I'm just going to move this over a bit potentially, and just to where I want it. Yeah, that looks all right. Maybe I've actually done a little bit too much. So it's a bit of a finicky thing, but it's not about being precisely right. It's just about being roughly right. Same thing here with the winter. We're going to bring the winter over. Going to line it up. Great. And we are at 20, currently around 29, and we want to bring it down to 15. So we'll just level it out a bit, move it back over. Now we're at 15 pretty much. Great. So now I can grab all of this, pull this down. That all looks really good. I'm going to make sure that the background is solid white, because when I bring this into my other program, it's going to be, I'm going to want them all together. And now that I take a look at this, I see that I've kind of lost the tree. So I might move this up and grab my tree here if I can. I just push that back. So order, send to back. Oh, that's far too back. See if I can just, I may just have to move my winter over and then make sure my tree is together. We're gonna deconstruct the whole thing. That's just fine. There we go. Select what I need, move this over. Great. Grab my winter, bring my winter solar angle in as well. Move that over, again, using my keys, my arrow keys, bring this up. And now my 15 degrees is a little low, which is not terribly useful. So I'm going to ungroup. Ungroup. Then I'm going to just grab this. I'm going to move it up. There we go. Fantastic. All right. There we go. That looks great. I'm happy how that looks. I might pull in the side here a bit. And I might pull in the other side a bit. And if you wanted to put more information about your solar angles in there, you definitely could. Then I'm going to bring it into my actual, just put it over here. Now it may not fit perfectly. Oh, actually it does. Great. So now I've got my solar angles in there as well. So that's a way to do cross section for solar angles, just to give yourself and your grader a sense of what those solar angles are and how they look. See you in the next tutorial.